27.115 on your AM radio dial. Classic Radio Roundup. Warm it up. Tune them if you got them.
Yep. Wednesday night.
Good grief.
Are you getting as much noise as I am?
I got a lot of noise. A lot of buzzing and static and, oh man, good grief.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of either bleed over or just random skip, I guess, coming in.
Yeah, there's a little bit of splatter in there, but that's not the worst part. Noise level dropped a little. It was about S8 at one point. Now it's down to S6. I don't know if it's my neighbors and their damn solar panels or what. Oof.
Yeah, it looks like I'm bouncing between like a 3 and a 5 on this radio.
3 and a 5, huh? That's still pretty high.
Yeah, I don't think I really have many nights where it's just very quiet. I don't think I have that, even though I'm out where I am, I don't think I have that luxury of quietness.
Yeah, I think you're pushing a little hard. You're a little rough around the edges, like you're overdriving a little bit. Signal's way up there, too.
Oops, how's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's a little better. Although the signal didn't really drop.
I'm on that Browning SST. I don't know. I don't have a mic gain, unfortunately.
No, it's not your mic. Your RF was a little strong. Now it's okay.
Alright, we good?
Yeah, you're good now.
Alrighty, well, I'll be back. I gotta go eat some dinner.
You rolling the gate tonight?
Roger that. I am rolling the gate.
Oh, very good. Alright, well, it is 8 o'clock straight up here on Wednesday, March, what is it, March 20, or not March, February. I'm getting ahead of myself. February 25th, 2026. Classic Radio Roundup, 27.115 on your AM radio dial.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the warmer weather, but man, February is going to be over this weekend. I can't believe this month, well, January and February just blew right by.
Yeah, I know. 2 months down from the 3 months of suck, and you know, as much as I like the winter to go by, the fact that it is going by so quickly scares me, because that just means the summer's going to go by even faster. And the older you get, the faster it all goes by.
Yep, and what is it? March 1st is the meteorological spring.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, one of them is, yeah. But the real spring doesn't start officially till the 20th or 21st. But, you know, to me, spring gets here when the weather warms up. And years of late, it doesn't seem to get here till like late April.
Well, I've been saying this for a few years now. We have two seasons. We have winter and summer. So we go right from the cold to right to the hot. We don't get those nice the breaks in between like we used to, the spring and falls.
I think fall's been pretty good. Spring, though, doesn't... Oh, be quiet, Bob. Good Lord, Bob's crying. He wants to climb up my shoulder. But yeah, I mean, to me it seems like the seasons have all moved a month. Like spring, you know, I can remember spring kicking in, you know, late March. You know, and April was, well, there was a bunch of rain in April, but it was relatively warm, you know. Now it seems like, you know, the weather we used to get in March, we're now getting in April and so on and so forth. And, you know, same with, I can remember snow flurries in October, and a lot of times it's still in the 70s in October, so it seems like everything's shifted a month.
Yeah, I know it's Ocean City, so you know it's a little bit south, but yeah, the last two oceans, you know, times I was down there in October for my anniversary, it was warmer down. You know, it was warmer. Actually, no, it was warmer up here than it was down there. I don't know. You know, the jet stream's moving, and the Earth always rotates on its axis a little bit differently. So, you know, we're in for those weather pattern changes eventually.
All climate change, damn it.
I don't know. Leonard Nimoy said in the late 70s, we're in the midst of the next ice age. Top climate scientists say we're entering the next ice age.
Yeah, and who's going to argue with Mr. Spock? I mean, I wouldn't.
No, you don't not argue with Spock.
No, man, because he will outwit you with logic every time.
Yeah, I never get to outwit people with logic. I just gotta baffle them with BS. Well, with that said, I gotta go eat some dinner, so I'll be back.
Roger. Classic Radio Roundup. Now, where is Pete? Still climbing up from those really long wavelengths? Oh, yeah. There we go. Hey, it's a little late for dinner. Is that you, Blake Buster? Yes, sir. You're a little like in the grass. Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you tonight. I've got a really high noise level, and you're like right above it. Yeah, it's extra impossible because I got major bleed over from a channel up. Yeah, there's a little of that too, but mostly I have a static level, but that's annoying as all get out. right. Okay, you're still hanging in there. Kind of a quiet start tonight.
Yeah, I just turned it on a minute ago. I didn't hear anything until I heard you.
Ah, good timing then.
I'm going to guess that other people are going to show up eventually. Just don't know when.
Yeah, people pop in and out of there. I don't know if Pete's in there or not. I didn't catch him on 160, so I don't know if he was in the process of coming up or whether he was even in there at all. He could be somewhere else tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, he was wondering where you were Sunday night.
Yeah, things have been crazy around here with the new dog and all, but hopefully this Sunday I'll make it.
Well, at least you're in here tonight. That's something.
Yeah, I really try not to miss Wednesday. That's the more important day.
Yeah, he was thinking maybe you were having trouble with your the heater in your trailer and were stuck up there by the lake.
That was the week before. I got that squared away. Yeah, I went up there Sunday last week and cleaned the oil burner up, replaced the nozzle, and fired it up, and it was running good. And after a couple of hours of it seemingly working okay, I left. And the next day it quit again. It wouldn't run. So I had to run up there last Tuesday, and I reset it again, and it fired up, and I stayed over all the way to Wednesday, and it was running all the time, and didn't miss a beat. So, and knocking on simulated vinyl clad wood here, it's still working okay. So hopefully it stays that way now. Maybe it just needed to settle in after I cleaned it.
Yeah, it probably just needed to be reset, and you're good.
Yeah, it's a real sensitive thing, though. I mean, it's only supposed to trip if it doesn't detect a flame, So if the detector is working, then it must have lost the flame somehow. But maybe there was some air in the lines or something. But heck, it ran for a couple of hours, so I shouldn't think there'd be air in the lines. But it is what it is. I think it did that the last time it started giving me trouble. They replaced the nozzle, cleaned everything up, and it needed a little bit of settling in before it would continue to work. And I'm knocking on wood and hoping that it continues to work until the end of the season.
Yeah, I never did find anybody to either service or replace my propane heater. That's why I got the electric heat exchanger installed.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I don't know, maybe it's because it's a mobile home or something, they're not familiar with it as much. But I know my oil burner has a special nozzle that says, mobile home on it. I guess, you don't need as big of a flame for a mobile home, but, I make sure I put the right nozzles in it. I ordered a couple of replacements and keep them on hand. But the last time I replaced it, it lasted 3 years because I've been putting additives in the oil to clean it up and keep it from gelling and stuff. And that's usually when the problems happen, when it gets really cold. But this time it just decided to quit for no real apparent reason until I looked at the nozzle and said, "Ooh, this is really gunged up." Black goo all over it. And it couldn't have been providing a good flame, so it was about time to replace it.
Yeah, I had a couple people people come in here and take a look at it, and they told me they couldn't do anything with it. I figured at least they'd be able to replace it, and nobody wanted to do it. So I paid to have the heat exchanger put in. It works. Even when it was cold, down below zero and stuff, it was still producing heat.
Yeah, it's pretty good because usually heat exchangers don't work very well when it gets under about 30 degrees. They start to, the efficiency starts to roll off really quickly. And there's usually like an auxiliary heating element in there that has to kick in to provide the extra heating.
Yeah, well, I paid an extra $1,000 to have a heat exchanger that works down to 10 below zero. Because when they first put it in, I asked them how good it works, and they said that'll work good down to zero. I said, how about 10 below? And they said, well, for $1,000 more, we can fix you up. And they did that.
Yeah, I wonder if they just added a heating element or something to it, because that's usually what they have to do. Because, heat exchanging, basically air conditioning is moving warm air away from cold air and vice versa. And if the air outside is so cold that it can't grab any heat from it, then it can't transfer it. So it's got to artificially heat it.
Well, I don't know what they did, if they had to add a heating element or anything, but it cost me another $1,000 to make sure it was going to work down to 10 below zero. Because it gets cold here once in a while.
Yeah, it sure does. That was a good investment on your part, making sure you got it.
Yeah, it was well worth $1,000 because, like I said, even though it was below zero a couple times, I was still feeling the heat coming out.
And that's the important part. You want to stay warm. None of this cold stuff. Ooh.
Yeah. Plus, I have a little heater, a little electric heater here. I run all the time too. That keeps it up above 70 degrees in here.
Yeah, just be careful with those heaters because a lot of times the cords on those things get really hot and can catch fire.
Now this is a nice one. I have it set on 86 degrees right now, so it's pumping some warm air in here, but it won't catch on fire.
Well, yeah, let's hope not anyway. I know I've got space heaters up in the mountains, and I keep the one on low when I use it because if I put it on high, the cord gets really hot. I don't like that at all.
Well, this one has it's not like a regular one that you would go to buy, and you see the electric element heat up and stuff like that. Like I said, it's set on 86 degrees, so it's just enough to supplement the heat exchanger if it starts getting cold. Because it got chilly in here when it's going below zero, but it was still producing heat.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're done with those 0 degree days. Hopefully that's in the past now, and we won't see any more of that polar vortex nonsense.
I just heard him say that Tuesday we may get down below zero again, but that's all right. I'm prepared. Everything's good. Everything's working.
Ooh, I haven't heard that. I did hear that we might get snow on next Tuesday. I didn't hear it was going to be that cold.
Yeah, it's another polar vortex that's coming in, but it's only going to last for 2 days, and then it's supposed to warm up again.
Yeah. I know it's going to be warm on Saturday. I think it's supposed to get close to 50. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like Saturday is supposed to be up around 50. That should melt all the ice that's still on my car. I got most of it off. but there was like 2 spots I couldn't reach. So there's still like 2 spots of ice on my roof. And I don't want to get a fine for riding around with snow on there, so I had knocked it off.
Yeah. Hopefully in another day or so that'll be gone.
And at least my driveway's clear now too. I went up and got cigarettes today up the corner.
Ah, there you go. Huh. Let's see what it says here. I'm not, see, whew. Monday I'm showing snow possible, low of 14. Tuesday, snow possible, mixing with rain late in the day, and the low's only going to be 30. And then 19 low for Wednesday. I'm not seeing any kind of zeros. Oh, 58 degrees on March 6th. Wow, that's too far out there, really. What's it calling for 58 degrees this Saturday on this weather? That would be real nice. 58? God, break the shorts out.
Well, at least it'll be nice and warm in here.
Yeah. I'll be outside. I'm gonna, I might change I might change oil in something. Or do something outside. Yeah, I'm itching to go out and do stuff.
Well, most of the snow is melted here. I still have a little bit on the grass, but it's just like an inch or so.
Yeah, I've got where the old snow was, in parts where the sun doesn't hit, there's still quite a bit of that. But yeah, the roof is snow-free now, and most of the ground that had been melted before, the latest snow, we only got a couple of inches, so that's pretty much melting off too now.
Yeah, same here. My lawn, I'd seen grass on my lawn, and then we got probably about 8 inches of snow the other week. Excuse me. Man, that's all melting now.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Spring on spring.
Yeah, geez. I got a little frog in my throat for some reason.
Yeah. I hate that when I get something caught in my throat and I can't it's down in your windpipe, it's not in your throat, or, so you can't, like, wash it down. You just gotta kind of keep coughing it up.
Yeah, I coughed it up. It's okay now.
That's cool.
Did you have a chance to fire up that Kenwood that I brought last time? Because I think that's the wrong radio. I think that 140 it receives okay. I have a 440 here, I think is the one that doesn't receive. The meter works. It shows signal, but there's no volume to it.
Yeah, okay. No, I haven't tried it yet, because I've between physical therapy, doctor's appointments, and this new dog, I haven't had much chance to do anything.
Yeah, like I said, if you hook it up to a power supply and it receives all right, I gave you the wrong radio.
Yeah, this one is a TS-130.
I thought it was a 140, but same thing, same difference. I have a 440 here that I think is the one that it doesn't receive.
Yeah, it's probably a bad audio amp. Hopefully, if I get lucky, it's the same number that was in the Yaesu, the 101s. It's an AN214 or something like that. I have one of those in stock. Otherwise, I'll probably have to order one. But knowing Kenwood was very good about using readily available parts and not a lot of custom junk. And hopefully the parts for that are still readily available, or at least substitutable.
Yeah, on my ICOM here, I had to remove D18, and that opened this radio up.
Oh, the general coverage transmit mod, yeah.
Yes, correct. I had to remove D18 and reset the processor, and then this radio now will transmit anywhere it receives.
Yeah, that's a good mod. Yeah, my Yaesu 757, there's a little tiny switch on the vertical display board. Little tiny switch, you flip that, and, and then it does that. It transmits where it receives.
I had a choice of buying a newer radio, but this is the last all-analog radio that ICOM made. So I did the mod, and I'm very happy with it.
Which one is that?
The ICOM 736.
Okay. Does that have FM in it?
Yes, it has all the modes are available.
Does that do HF and 6 meters, or just HF?
That does 6 meters and HF.
Oh, that's a nice one there. Okay. Yeah. And, well, I guess you can't say it's completely analog. I guess it's analog RF stages and stuff, I guess. But the tuning and all that's digital readout, digital display. But yeah, it's an analog radio.
Yeah. Like I said, it was supposed to be the last all analog radio that ICOM made, and it cost me. I think it was like $2,600. It's not a cheap radio.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I would have said, "Oh my God, that's insane." But nowadays, I guess that's about average. I remember when the ICOM 781 came out, and they wanted like $5,000 for that. But that was back 30 years ago, and back when I bought my Yaesu 757, I bought that brand new, and I paid $750 for it brand new. I'm like, well, yeah, that's, $700 to $1,000 was like normal price for an average radio. You see something like that, 781 for $5,000. I'm thinking, what kind of deep-pocketed guy can afford that?
Yeah, I couldn't afford that, but I could afford, at the time, I could afford $2,600, so I bought this radio.
Yeah. Yeah, I will probably never buy a brand new HF radio ever again. They're just too expensive. I got a pretty good deal on this, my ICOM 746 Pro. It needed work, and I paid $100 for it. It's worth any more than that. But, it does HF 6 meters and 2 meters. 100 watts on all bands. That's not so shabby.
Well, I have an ICOM 720, 736, no, 726. It does 2 meters, 220, and 440. But that's a separate radio.
too much audio. Good God. Turn it down. There we go. My radio died. The transmit stopped. Keyed it up and nothing. Nothing, man. Nothing. I'm like, what the heck is that all about?
Yeah, you were okay for a while, and then all of a sudden it messed up.
Yeah, I had to switch. I had to turn the mic down. This one's a little too sensitive. I'll turn it down even more here. There we go. Yeah, that was my high gain 623, and it gave up the day. Now I got something else I gotta fix. Good grief.
Yeah, I still have the Ranger 3300 hooked up there to the power supply, so if I need it, I can use that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So it's good to have a backup, you know. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yes, when I have that, I've been training I think it's a 170 that's sitting on the shelf that I could use too. But it doesn't have sideband.
Well, what's a 170?
It's a Tram D170, I think. I think that's what it says. But like I said, it's AM. It's not sideband.
Oh, it's probably a D42. If it's 40 channel.
I don't know. I'd have to go look at it, get my flashlight and take a look at it. So I'm not sure what it is, but I know it was a Tram, but like I said, it doesn't have sideband.
Well, yeah, you don't need sideband on Wednesdays anyway. That's something for other nights.
Well, that's why I've been using this radio.
Yeah, that one works okay.
I can get, it's on AM now, so I'm going to get probably 30 watts dead key. But on sideband, I get a 400 watts out of it.
Yeah, well, sure, you know. AM, your carrier power is 1/4 what your PEP power should be, so a 100-watt radio ends up being 25 watts. So, you know, 30 watts, it goes a little over.
I have my AL80 sitting here next to the radio, but I use that on 80 meters to give myself a 100 watts carrier.
Yeah, and that's 6 dB or a whole less unit better than 25 watts.
Well, it was enough for me to talk to Dave, the other Dave, and Pete.
Well, it makes a difference.
I didn't even have to tune it up. I just turned my carrier level down, my drive down, so that it was just giving me 100 watts out.
Yeah, just adjust your carrier power and you're good to go.
I still have it set for the 80 meter band.
Yeah, you gotta be careful tuning those up. You don't want to have too much grid current. And you want to make sure it's resonant. And of course, a good SWR to tune into.
Yeah. Pete took the 4-to-1 balun off of this, and I can't find it now. He said that he laid it on the countertop, but I moved everything on the countertop. I haven't found it yet.
Uh-oh, you got gremlins. Gremlins are invading your station there and making off with all your goodies.
Yeah, well, that was nice because I didn't need a tuner with the 4-to-1 balun on here. I had a range I could go on 80 meters, and it was flat.
That's with the balun.
Yes, with the balun.
Yeah, well, if you're using open wire feed line, it usually does seem to broaden things a bit.
Yeah, I'm using open line feed line, not coax.
Yeah. When you're running those antennas like that, that's usually the best thing to do. It seems to work out better. I was always a little wary of that stuff, because it not being shielded, but it does seem like it works. Can't knock that.
Yeah, I have a Dentron Super Tuner, and that has a built-in 4-to-1 balun, and I also have an MSJ VersaTuner 2 that also has a 4-to-1 balun in it. So I'm okay.
Yeah, I've got an MFJ VersaTuner with a balun in it, but from what I've been told, the balun in those things is very lossy. It'll match up and everything, but it's lossy. It's not a good balun. You'll waste a lot of power in heat. So there's usually better ways to go than the MFJ balun.
The balun works on the Dentron, no problem. Like I said, it has a 4-to-1 balun on the VersaTuner too, but that's only 200 watt unit.
Yeah, that's what mine is. It's only a 200 watt or 300 watt, I think it's maximum for. Something like that. 300 watts PDP. So, kind of got to be careful. I ran a little bit of power through it, and I heard stuff starting to zizzle in there. I'm like, ooh, can't do that. Nah, I can't run the amp through that.
I don't run the amp through either of them. Although I was running this Dentron on 80 meters when I was in Norristown on my wire that was cut for 80 meters, and it worked fine.
Yeah, well, they do work. Like I say, though, the balun and the VersaTuners are just kind of crappy.
That's why I've been running it off the Dentron. It looks beefy.
Yeah, well, that one's a better design. I'm guessing Pete's not going to show up tonight.
That's a possibility. I haven't heard him come in here yet.
Yeah, because if he's going to be in here, he'd be in here by now. So, no, it was yesterday. Was it? And he said he was going to Shady Maple for dinner or lunch or something because it was his birthday. So who knows what tonight might bring.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm expecting him to pop in here any time now.
Yeah, Night Train has been conspicuously absent on classic radio around the last few weeks. He's been busy, I guess. So, although I understand he's been on 160, I think, a couple of times, or elsewhere.
Yeah, I can't get to 160 yet.
I can barely get there. But when I get there, I get a noise level so bad that I can't hear anybody. I get like an S9 noise level down there.
Got to make my wire longer because I can't get to 160.
That's a shame, you know? Well, yeah, that's right. You've got a 40-meter antenna that you're stretching into 80 meters, and that works. And if you had an 80-meter antenna, you could stretch that to 160 because that's what Billy does, and it works okay for him.
Yeah, that's what Pete and I were talking about. If we put 40 meter, or my antenna's cut for 40 meters. So if we add 80 feet on both sides, I should be able to get to 160, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, your problem is similar to mine, only worse. Lack of real estate to stretch an antenna like that out.
We were talking about running, my trailer's 40 feet long, so we're thinking if we ran 80 feet on one side and 80 feet on the other side, that should give me 160.
What, make like a U shape?
No, just tack it onto the side of the house.
Well, you gotta move it away from the house. It's metal there.
Well, the center of it's up about 40 feet, so it should be okay. Well, like I said, we'll have to add the wire to it and see how it works. But we're not going to do it while it's still cold like this.
Nah, only crazy people work in the cold. Those days are long gone.
Yeah. We played around with pizza antennas while it was snowing. But I'm too old for that kind of crap now.
Yeah, I know. I used to do this stuff when I was a teenager, and I had to futz with antennas. I'd be out there in the cold. As long as there wasn't snow on the roof. That's the only thing that would keep me from, playing with it, but not anymore.
Yeah, same right here. Like I said, I'm getting too old for that kind of crap. Gotta wear long johns, gloves, mittens, double sweatpants. I know the deal. I'm feeling you. Good evening, Dave. Good evening there, Wayne. Old JR on board.
There he is. How's it going?
Trying to get through this winter weather there. Boy, all these days, for the most part, been gloomy, It's kind of depressing. Besides being cold, it's just gloomy. Yeah, it's not pleasant at all. I don't know where the old sunshine's been, but we're lacking of it.
Well, the sun did come out for a bit today. In the morning it was kind of dreary, but the sun did kind of pop its head out a little bit. And, we're almost to the end of month 2 of the 3 months of suck, so we're 2/3 of the way through, I guess.
Hello, JR. was just getting used to the greenery back in my yard. I woke up the next day, it was all white again. What's that all about? I don't know. But it's not bad. It's dissipating pretty good, though. You know, I got about 50% of green out there now. So another day or two, you know, be gone. But then again, I heard there's a possibility of more white junk.
Yeah, next Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, they're talking about snow. It's not going to be a big amount, though. I think it's going to be like this other one, you know, that was a couple of inches.
Yeah, boy, we missed the bullet on that one. When I looked at weather bug, it said 8 to 12, and I'm like, But then I looked out there about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it looked like about 2 inches. And that was about it, really. I don't think we got much more. I went out there the next day to snow blow, and that's all about it was out there, so, yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I got about 6 inches here.
Yeah, I got about 4 to 5 on the deck and on the railings and stuff, but a little bit less on the driveway, I guess because it took a little bit longer for it to cool down and start laying there, because it was raining it for a long time first. When I went to do the snow blowing, I don't think there was more than 2 inches on the driveway, except at the very bottom where the plow came through.
Yeah, that's about the same. And maybe that's what it was, exactly what you explained. But I really didn't go around poking around in the yard. I just went and dealt with the driveway. So that may have very well been the deal, but I don't know. Oh yeah, at the end of the driveway when you hit that, yeah, that was, boy, that stuff was, it was a heavy snow too. I mean, it wasn't shooting up there 40, 50 foot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad that, the snowblower was able to handle it though, because usually when it's really a wet, gloppy snow, it just clogs up in the chute.
Yeah, well, you shoot that with WD-40 before you start to shoot, and inside there, where it rotates around. Not your blades, not them blades, but where it shoots it up. You shoot that with WD-40 or silicone, you're good. It won't clog on you.
Yeah, I would think WD-40 wouldn't last very long because the snow would wear it off.
It worked, though. I might have done that silicone to use it. It worked on the sidewalk, so, I'll use my door. But it definitely is a plus. But enough of this stuff. I don't want to use the snow blower no more. I want to put it away and the heck with it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remember the silicone, because I've got some of that. I want to spray that in. Because I used to do that years ago with the snow shovel. Spray the snow shovel with silicone, and then the snow wouldn't stick to the shovel.
Well, it works the same way. The same concept. It works exactly the same way. And I don't even second guess it. I just do it automatically before I do it. It's a lot less heavy. I don't care how thick it is or how heavy the snow. It just keeps on going. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to get the umbrellas out there. I want to see the wife out there planting flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to plant something. I want to plant my feet in the sand and, yeah.
I couldn't even use a snow blower here. I don't have enough property. Yeah, you're all shovel. What you have to do with a shovel. Yeah, but it's not that bad. I have my steps out the front door here, and then probably 12 to 15 feet of sidewalk. So it makes more sense for me to just shovel it.
As long as it's not too heavy.
Well, this last snow was heavy, but yeah, I took small bites and shoveled it.
Yeah, as long as you pace yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to be having a heart attack,
Yeah, that would suck.
So what are you running tonight, Dave? Doesn't sound like there's a whole heap in here, but I'll ask you, what are you running tonight?
Well, I was running my high gain 623, and then it just suddenly stopped transmitting. So in a quick rush, I just threw the cable on the back of the Yaesu here, and that's what I'm on now. I'm thinking about pulling something else off the shelf here and throwing it up for my next classic.
Yaesu's sounding good, though. Now, is that actually a classic? Do you consider that a classic?
Well, it's a 1984 vintage, so it's just about there. I mean, it's just on the hairy cuspid line there of vintage radios.
I don't know. What do you consider classic? That's pretty old.
Well, when it comes to CV radios, 1983 was probably, 82, 83 was probably the last really decent year from radios. They started, because after that they really started to fall off, you know. Companies went out, you know, companies like Pierce Simpson and Browning and Tram and all, they disappeared, and, you know, and Radio Shack cut back their lineup and what they were selling, and, you know, after 83 kind of started the rise of the export radio. That's when they really started to hit the scene here, and so for me, vintage CV radios kind of stopped after 83.
Wow. Well, you do realize 2025, 1984. That's 41 years ago. So, you know, I consider that a classic.
Yeah. Well, I guess it all depends, you know. At first we were kind of, you know, doing the same kind of formula that they do for cars, but then, you know, 25 years, you know, you go back 25 years from here and you're into the 2000s. And, you know, the radios made then, they're crap. Chinese junk and all. No. Vintage radios are, like I said, they stopped being cool in the early 80s.
Well, a lot of different radios in between there, but yeah, I know there was a different time era. You know, the exports started coming out, this, that, and all. That's when it all kind of got crazy, I think. So many different brands, and good grief, couldn't keep up with them. And I dare not to say I had one of each because that wasn't happening. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, and the thing about the 25-year thing there, you know, when you get up to be our age, 25 years is like yesterday.
Yeah, 25 years ago, my daughter was a year old, and, you know, I was just living in this house for about a year or so, and so it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
That is the truth. That is the truth. I don't know. I guess we're considered, us older guys are considered like time benders, you know. Because the definition of time means something different than what it does to the younger generation, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. You know, the older you get, the faster it goes by. And that's the scary part. That's why we were talking about it earlier. I was talking to Joker, and we're talking about how quick the winter seems to be going by. And I said, yeah, you know, as much as it's nice that winter's going by quickly, that just means that summer's going to go by even quicker. And the next thing you know, it'll be next year. And there's just, I look at it, I'm going like, how many more years can I realistically expect to have? It's like, I'm running out of years here.
Well, you know, that's the deal. You wake up one day and start realizing, hey, it's going to be a good day. I woke up. Sounds weird, but you kind of start looking at that concept there. Because you know it. You hit it on the head. You know it. It's I don't want to say that days are numbered, but you start thinking about it a lot more, that's for sure. But, so wake up and enjoy every one. If you have a crappy day, it's still a good day. How's that? Yeah, I'm 74 now. 13, Red Banner in front of me.
Yeah, you're even further down the road.
Stand by. Hello there, Red Baron. I hear you out there. Good evening time. Old JR saying hello. Hey, JR, greetings. Greetings. My noise level just shot through the roof. I did pull you out there. We just wanted to pop in here for a minute and let you all know that Red Baron still got a pulse over here. Over. Well, that's a good thing, Red Baron. You gotta have the pulse or else you're in big trouble, but all right, good deal. Well, I'm glad you're still kicking your heels and surviving another week of winter. Hey, copy that, my friend. Good hearing you out there. Hearing a couple other voices out there, but my noise level's a little bit wonky tonight, and yeah, we're gonna step back. I don't want to interrupt. Some Wednesdays, you know, you guys are clear. Others, there's interference. So, yeah, I'll be stepping back, listening in for what I can hear. And, all right, gentlemen, have a pleasant evening. Hey, okay, Red Baron. Well, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. I hear you fine. You're getting up here in the greatest of ease anyway, so sorry about your noise level down there. You take care until next time. And, yep, looking forward to working you again. Oh, Red Baron, take care. 73 is from old JR.
Have a good one there, Red Baron.
I could hear Red Baron in here, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. Pretty good there. All right. Have a good one, gentlemen.
Yeah, I had to move the antenna around, but I hear them good now.
Swing that old big antenna around there, you pick them up like an ears on German Shepherd.
Yeah, I've got a super high noise level tonight, and it's been bothering me. It's been in there a lot at night. Last couple of weeks during the roundup, I noticed it. It's like a noise, and it's just like S5, S6, and it's like horrible.
Yeah, but that Yaesu don't really have a good noise blanker, does it?
Actually, this does a better job than any of the other. I mean, because this kind of noise isn't the kind of noise that blankers work for, you know. Blankers are basically for pulse kind of noise, like what you get from spark plugs. And this isn't that kind of noise. But I can put the noise blanker on this and turn it up all the way, and it'll knock it down a nest unit or two, but then it kind of distorts everybody's signal too.
Yeah, no, I run into that also, so yeah, I'm familiar with that. I don't know why that does it, but that's the deal. Well, I don't know if the new one does it. I don't think the new one does. I don't know. I never really cranked it up either. I think so much difference of a receiver on that thing. But anyway, yeah, my older stuff does, so that's for sure. Same thing, you know. It's just you get it cranked up to about 5, and anything 5 and over on even on the 2000D here, yeah, 5 and over, then it distorts some of the stronger signals.
Yeah, and that's just a mess. It's like, I'm almost wishing for a power failure. All my noise goes away.
That's right. Hook her up to the tractor battery. You'll be good.
Yeah, fire up the generator. And it'll be nice and quiet. Oh my God.
Did you ever try it? Well, probably not. I was going to say, you ever try it with a generator? Just to see if that thing was noise-free.
Well, yeah, last time we had a power failure, it was during the roundup, and I was running on generator power. And I had, the whole neighborhood was out, and I had no noise. I was like Pete. I could hear people. Oh, that was great.
Oh, man. That almost I don't know. Well, that's right. But if everybody else has power, then you're picking up the other crap from your neighbors, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, never mind. Well, first, I guess you gotta actually find out what's causing the issue.
Yeah, I know, and that's the difficult part, I tried turning the antenna around to see if it would peak. And it seems like it varies maybe an S unit, but there's no sharp null or sharp peak anywhere to give me a clue. So I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from. It could be riding in on the power lines for all I know. Maybe I need a power line filter.
It's all that 5G.
What, the cell phone?
Yeah, that stuff is nasty, man. I went through a neighborhood the other day, and it was cutting out I don't know if it was that particularly, but the FM stereo, it was just kind of pulsing, but yeah, it was kind of, you don't come across that every day on your FM radio.
I noticed that in spots where I drive through and the FM gets interfered with. And there is something that does that. I know there were sensors that, I was in front of a store, and the sensors that make the automatic doors open and close when people walk up to them. Something to do with that. So like if I was in front of a store, it would completely blank out my FM radio. So I don't know.
Ford. Yeah, but I was cruising down the road. I mean, there was no real stores or establishments, anything like that with the automatic doors. It was just like random out, kind of in between houses. It might have even been on 662, now that I think about it. And it was like at a weird spot where you would cruise through and be able to hear the radio, but then all of a sudden one day it was just blanked out. Like, wait a minute, kind of like when you lose satellite reception for your Sirius satellite radio.
Just mutes, yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are putting up solar panels and trying to save money on electric. And I know the solar inverters that convert to DC and step it up to AC. Some of those cheaper ones will radiate a whole crapload of noise. And a lot of times when they replace it with a better one, then the problem goes away.
A question for you. Go ahead with your question. I'm standing by. What happens if you throw a Faraday cage over that or blanket over those inverters? Would the noise get cut? That's not a bad question. Bagger, did you hear that question?
No, he's right in my noise level. I can't. I know he's there. I can hear what he's saying, but I can't understand half of it.
He was. I'm not sure who it was at this point, but he was inquiring what would happen if you put a Faraday cage or a blanket over top of that inverter. Would it null that interference?
Well, here's the thing. A Faraday cage will prevent radiated emissions from escaping. But a lot of times those switching supplies that radiate, they radiate their signal out to power cables. And if the power cables are going outside the Faraday cage, then they act like a big antenna.
So then you'd almost have to cage your power leads.
Yeah, you'd have to shield them and ground the shield.
Or just wrap them through a ferrite. Ferrites might help, but when you twist them together, and I found that to be the case, with multiple TVI interferences, two stations previous, even with speaker wires, when you twist them up, it seemed to help, and then you throw a couple of ferrites on there, and you know, there goes your bleed over. But yeah, that's also another thing I didn't really think of until now. You know, twist those wires together and give them like a helix kind of shape, and you know, that seems to help a little bit.
Oh, it's Bite Buster, by the way.
Thank you, Bite Buster. I should know your voice by now, but let me get out of the way. JR's in there. Sandbagger's in there. I didn't hear nothing from Pete, so I guess there's no record tonight.
Well, Joker's doing a gate.
Bless Joker's heart. Thank you, Joker. I appreciate it, because it's kind of a new setup I got going on here, but still a classic.
Where? Hey, Rooster.
There's Rooster.
Yeah, I got my cables running through a PC pipe.
PC pipe? You mean PVC?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's plastic, so that's not going to insulate it. That's not going to shield anything.
Well, I got it going through there for no other cables touch the coax. Breaker.
Good evening, Rooster, and good evening, Green Dog.
Oh, JR. Hello, Green Dog. Here.
JR, Rooster, there was a distant breaker out there. Go ahead, break.
This is Bulletin, going past Gross buses up Hoffmansville Road right now, right between Rooster and Joker. Hello, Bulletin. How are you guys all doing tonight? I'm just about at the crest of the hill where the high-tension power lines are, and right here up high, you guys ought to be able to hear me great right now. That's Eric, right? It is, yep, that's me. Right, okay, yep. I got a copy on him. I'm out delivering Boyertown bulletins tonight. Well, I just haven't talked to you in a while.
By them high tension lines. What is that, Franklin? I think maybe. Sounded really good up there.
Hoffmansville Road. So you're right though, my regular location would be more towards Franklin. But I'm going on Hoffmansville Road, headed from Schultzville to Sassamansville. I'm out delivering papers.
Whoa, they still deliver papers?
That would be me, the one and only Boyertown Bulletin. And Schultzville would be Bartow. Correct. Yeah, I'm now closer to Sassamansville, I would say. Or, I'm sorry, Congo. I'm coming up to Congo. In Joker's neighborhood. That's right. I might be going past Joker's house later tonight. We'll see. Well, you got a copy on me. I'm up here near Dorney Park. Wow. Who's this that I'm speaking to? I don't think I've spoken with you before. It's Pipe Buster. Was that Pipe Buster? Nice to meet you. And I didn't catch your handle. Bulletin, just like the Boyertown Bulletin. Roger that. Very nice to meet you. You too. Carry on. I'm just going to be here listening, guys. You can go ahead and talk. I'll say something once in a while and give you my 20.
Yeah, I can use a 20 or two. Nothing in this world is free.
The bulletin is free. Yes, it is.
Somebody's paying for it.
The advertisers. Correct.
There you go.
That's the way to run a paper. It is not easy, unfortunately.
It's hard to compete, print media to compete with internet media now. So much easier to produce stuff electronically.
Internet gets forgotten, though, whereas print gives you something tangible. So that's why print will always be around.
That's true. You can store it in your basement for 50 years.
Don't laugh, some people do collect them.
Of course, they say the internet is forever, too. As long as they keep archiving everything. But it's not as much fun as reading something you can hold in your hand.
Right, like when you're camping.
Camping or just reminiscing.
That's it exactly.
Well, in case anybody was wondering, I am now back.
There he is. I hope you enjoyed your dinner. Joker!
Rooster! I heard JR's in there now. I heard a few other voices as I was walking in the room. Yes, I enjoyed the dinner. The wife and I don't make dinners much together. But then I had some actual work to do. And I can't think anymore tonight, so now it's radio time.
So what did you have? What kind of good meal did you make?
Well, the golf course down here, they have a new that new barbecue / the new restaurant they're bringing in. It's called Blue Haze Barbecue. We had some of their mashed potatoes because they make really good mashed potatoes. So we had some of them in a container, and then she made broccoli and like a stuffed pork.
Are you saying we have mindless conversations?
That sounds absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it was all delicious. And no, but I don't have to try to figure out how to get 25 years worth of technology to read each other. So we have tons, hours of footage from 25 years ago. And it was all put into Final Cut Pro 6 from 2007, I think it was. And now we're trying to do a lot of editing on it. Well, all the new editing software won't recognize any of the old software. And not a big deal as long as the old computer still works, because we kept a hold of the old computer. But I'm trying to come up with a contingency plan in case that old computer dies out.
That is a concern. Yeah, 50 years from now, you can't read JPEGs anymore, or MPEG-4 files anymore, because they've all moved way beyond that. But if you have a piece of paper, you can always read it.
You have to export it.
Well, that's what I'm working on. So there's a music video going to be coming out, and some other just live footage clips coming out. And between me, well, my place here, because I have audio or video editing stuff here, so it's a joint effort between here, New Jersey, Bluebell, and Royersford. We're all trying to get all these files figured out that they're readable, and then the guy down in Bluebell is doing all the upscaling and making it so modern computer monitors play it well. Because I didn't realize this until I got into this project a couple years ago, that mini DV tapes are considered an interlaced file, and they look horrible on modern screens.
Oh yeah, NTSC analog video is interlaced, and trying to convert that to digital. Ooh.
Yeah, there's software that you can do bulk conversion. I think Handbrake. I don't know if you've ever worked with that before.
No, not yet. I know I've heard about Handbrake. I got to look into that. I was just working with DaVinci something, and that was supposed to, because on the old Final Cut Pro you can do XML files, but the problem is I've realized that because Final Cut Pro 6 and 7 were from 2007 and 2008, that was like the dividing line. Even if I export a Apple ProRes video, which is like a standard export, it still uses an old QuickTime format that most newer QuickTimes won't read.
Oh, duh.
Whatever happened to being backwards compatible? Jeez.
Yeah, that's the strange thing. We were just talking about that at work today, how most things are backwards compatible. And this has just been, well, Final Cut Pro is a pain in the butt. But man, I mean, I've been pulling my hair out these last couple of days trying to figure out how to get these files converted.
The only thing is backwards compatible has to do with the actual devices themselves and reading the actual media, but not necessarily making it perfect.
Yeah, well, it's weird because a lot of times, you know, I've done some stuff where I have newer systems that I have to open up older stuff. Sometimes, especially like Photoshop and that kind of like picture-wise, there's usually a weird font that didn't import correctly, so you gotta adapt a few little things. But this just absolutely will not do anything.
Well, you got to build the whole thing in the older machine and then export it somehow. And yeah, oh boy.
Well, the guy that's doing the upscaling and the deinterlacing, it's a program called Topaz, and it's funny because Apple ProRes, like I said before, is the format that it recommends, or that's what everybody recommends because it's like a lossless video export. But like I said, in 2006, what's codec, COEDEC, of the QuickTime is different, so it won't read it, which isn't a big deal because I can bring it to my place, open it in my software, and export it as a modern day file. But it's just like, why doesn't it read it?
Yeah, there's software for that too. The VLC, I don't know, you've probably heard of VLC. I'm pretty sure that you can download a whole mess of codecs to it that it will be able to read your files.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. But yeah, Handbrake was that next thing I was going to look into. Like I said, I spent 5 years rebuilding probably 20 hours worth of footage. That if that system goes down, then I'm like, well, we got to find somebody with the old version.
Yeah, there's always eBay for that.
Well, honestly, my recording studio at my house, all my computers are older. Because, my place I don't really make money at. So I'll buy the older systems and I'll build older computers, and I usually have like 2 or 3 backups.
Yeah, but just like the radios, eventually those components inside there are going to die.
Believe me, I've thought of that. And, my last system I built lasted me from 2004 till this August. So I'm hoping the system I built now should last me, at least 10 years, knock on wood.
So there's no online conversion tool that you can upload it and then download it as something different?
No, not that it works with stuff that old. Like I said, that DaVinci program I just downloaded was supposed to do it, but it keeps throwing me errors.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of forum online that will explain how to do it. for free, of course, but that, again, that's still time-consuming doing that research.
Yeah, and technically now I'm off the clock, so I'm just doing this. What do the lawyers call it? Pro bono.
See, and I made you think now, so we don't have mindless conversations.
Oh man, you guys did make me think for another 10 minutes.
Oh no!
Oh well, there's snow coming. You can think about shoveling.
Did he just say snow?
Oh no!
Hey, listen, my kid lives in Cape Cod. They just got their power back this evening. They got hammered. A lot of trees down over the power lines. It was unbelievable.
They got a lot of pines up there, right?
Well, I see a lot of oak trees, really. Huge ones around his house. He took like 3 down this past summer, and I'm glad he did, because that's a scary thing.
Yeah, that's kind of got me worried where I'm at. We got a lot of birch and hickory that are leaning over this way. Some maple and some big oaks out back. Some of the really big oaks, they're dying off. And I don't like the way these trees are dying off around our area. You go up there around the Poconos and it looks like a freaking bomb went off or a bunch of termites went to town. All their pine trees are looking nasty.
Oh no, winds blew them down.
Well, I just heard now that there's some new disease with beech trees. And beech trees go all along the whole eastern coast of the United States. They go all the way up to, to Canada. And, there's like these nematodes attack them. And when the leaves, you can tell the thing is infected by, like, half the leaf is brown, the other half is green. And I guess there's some things that you can inject into the tree to almost cure it, but eventually that tree's going to die.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't noticed any of that here on these beech trees that we have. But we do have some oaks that are dying from the tops down. I had a tree guy out here a couple years ago to take some down, and he said, oh yeah, that oak tree there, that's dying off. He said, you see that white fungus? He called it a fungus. He's like, you see that white stuff? And basically it was like a mushroom kind of, you know how mushrooms do, and they start breaking down, they decompose, they're decomposers. And he's like, yeah, well, we're not really sure how that starts, if it's airborne, or if it's through the soil, or if it's through insects, but the trees get damaged, and then this fungus takes over. And apparently oak trees are the next threat now.
Didn't they just... I thought it was the oak trees that the last... or 2 years ago had some kind of bug or virus.
Ash trees, they had the emerald ash boring beetle, or the ash borers. That's what's taking out all the ash trees. And then you have these nematodes with the birch trees, like I think it was Bitebuster he was saying. And then you have these lantern flies. They're not helping the system out at all.
Yeah, because we have oak, I think it's oak, lining the driveway at work, and the landscaper was saying there was some kind of virus or some kind of weird plague coming through them. So I went out there and I put masks on all the trees, figured that would fix it.
What, like N95s?
No, I just made paper ones, or cloth ones, that just does the same thing.
Could you still smell the tree?
I don't know, do trees smell?
Yeah, they really do when you burn them.
I was picturing the Keebler Elves tree with the talking that was with a nose.
Sassafras trees smell really good.
You can make a drink out of that.
And from what I've heard through some unruly people, you could actually break it down and make some DMT out of it. Or as they call it, sass.
Yeah, people find a way.
I mean, there's so much stuff out there in nature, trees and bushes and branches, and you can make all kinds of fun stuff out of.
Why do you think sailors used to smoke ropes?
Never mind. But well, I was going to say most modern medicine comes from naturally occurring, ingredients, whether it be tree bark or sap, and the industry realized they could synthesize it and make money on it.
Yeah, and copyright the whole thing.
Yep, that's why new drugs have to come out every so many years. They lose their copyright.
Yeah, I know they make, I believe aspirin came from the willow tree.
I don't know if it was the willow tree, but yeah, aspirin comes from a bark of a tree.
Do you know where they get the raspberry flavor from?
Isn't that beetle shells?
Beaver anus.
Beaver butt? Coloring, the red dye for food, that comes from beetle shells.
Yeah, but apparently the raspberry flavored, like you get raspberry flavored anything, apparently they squeeze the anal glands out of beavers, and that's where you get that flavor from.
What happened to getting it from raspberries?
Well, that's the thing in the past. You'd actually have to go out and forage for it yourself, certain times of year, and to have it throughout the year, you got to make fruit leather or something like that.
Now, I'm just going to throw this out there, but I would love to talk to the guy who researched and figured out that that's where you could get that flavoring from. I would just assume that he's a very interesting fella.
Yeah, like, how did it come to be? How did this come to fruition? Were you chewing on a beaver anus, and then all of a sudden you were like, wow, I taste raspberries?
No, better yet, what do you do for a living? Yeah, I squeeze anal glands.
Well, some people say when you fart it's raspberries, right? So maybe there's something there.
You might be onto something there, Bagger.
Well, that's like, what is it, the sand crab? They use the blood for certain medicine.
That kind of stuff, it gets ridiculous, but it took a whole bunch of smart people to figure it out. I'm not saying the beaver gland guy was very smart. We could all agree with that. Like, how do you, yeah, right. But sand fleas, or the sand crabs, yeah, I mean, and you gotta kind of figure, all them crustaceans, there's gotta be a high concentrate of, what am I thinking of? Not keratin, not vitamin C, oh hell.
Oh, I missed that. I must have double keyed with someone.
I think we double keyed there.
What did you say?
I don't know. A few moments have passed. I kind of forgot now.
About the crabs.
Oh, they take the blood out of them and use that for some kind of treatment or medicine.
You're right. I heard that too. But like I was saying about horse hooves, or that's what you use to make gelatin.
Well, think about this. So, like the Amazon, for thousands of years, these people have made medicine from certain combinations of specific ingredients. What it took throughout the ages for these people to be like, well, this and this will cure this, but this and this, or the wrong dosage, will kill you.
Just like mushrooms.
That's like a hit or miss thing.
Yeah, I don't trust mushrooms that I don't buy in a little crate in the store.
In the past in the past 5-6 years, maybe, I've always been fascinated with mushrooms, kind of like I have been with the radio hobby. But, dude, I'm telling you, I've been finding, ever since, I've been keen to it and training my eye to find them and all that stuff, I've been finding some pretty good choice edible mushrooms. And it's really a good time to be able to identify them, harvest them, and do whatever you want with them. Cook them up fresh or dry them out and use them for later.
Oh, I would totally be into doing that. I just have a very how do you put it, personality that I would be double guessing myself anytime I tried to eat one.
Well, you never eat them fresh. You can do the bite, chew, and spit method. That's a key identifier for most species. But you have your you have your ones that look like a certain thing, and some of them have lookalikes, but most of the choice edibles don't have too many lookalikes. So as long as you're hunting for them, you're good to go.
That's just like frogs. Don't lick the wrong frog.
Yeah, or you'll end up with frog tongue.
Some of these frogs have a very toxic secretion. He died.
You can die just by touching some of them, can't you?
You may be right about that.
Yeah, some of those ones from the Amazon, like the poison darts and stuff like that, yep.
Well, there's caterpillars that are the same way, those fuzzy ones.
Hey, we have a couple up here that'll give you some severe reactions.
Yeah, I got a friend, not going to say names, but on a prank for filming, he found this really cool looking green caterpillar and he tried to eat it, and he had all kinds of reactions.
Who tried to eat it?
A friend of mine.
Was he nuts?
Yes.
Where did you find this said caterpillar? Was it on a tomato plant?
I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember where it was. It was somewhere, I think it was either north or western Pennsylvania. Or it could have been Florida, I don't remember.
Somebody needs a reboot.
Either that or he had one himself.
That's why you don't remember.
Well,
I got a lot of time I don't remember.
Scary, isn't it? But at least you had a good time.
So I've been told.
That's always the best.
no, that's scary.
Now, sit down. Let me tell you a story I don't even remember. But everybody told me this is the way it happened.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I realize I shouldn't do that stuff anymore.
I'm starting to get older and I want to do it more.
Oh no.
Yeah, some psilocybins, maybe some, I never really played around with ecstasy too much. Some DMT. I heard DMT's pretty cool, but it's short-lived. Yeah, I want to go that route. I want to take a trip without leaving the farm.
Well, you can.
Yeah, the 20s into the mid-30s was a fun time.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be, right?
I think it was designed to be that way. Yeah. Good times to be had in them early days.
Ah, memories. I wish I had more.
Wish you could remember them.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's pictures and videos of a lot of it too, I guess. So, I guess I can go back and look and watch.
But they ain't gonna jog nothing because you don't remember them.
Well, it's kind of like when if your parents ever made movies of you when you were a kid, and then you look back and go, I don't even remember any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. So I've been doing another video project. It's my personal project here. After my grandma passed away, when we cleaned out her house, she, I think she only she only stayed outside of her house, and 50 years, one night. Like she was a homebody. She never left, but she had a video camera, and anything that happened in the like the Upper Perkiomen Valley, she would video. So I have, probably, well, I can't even say, probably 2-3 dozen VHS tapes of just like accident on Main Street, fire on 3rd Street, just like all these videotapes that I've been converting.
I did the same thing, but I converted mine to a tape. I did it from a VHS tape to a digital tape, and now you're telling me that they're what, delaced, interlaced? What? So now if I take that and put them to another digital format, it's going to look crappy?
Yes, there is workarounds about, or there workarounds. There we go. Certain programs will de-interlace stuff. If you still have the VHS tapes, if you converted it to mini DVs, sometimes the VHS tapes will look better. If your mini DVs are more than 20 years old, or around 20 years old, start converting them, because that's what I've been working with, and a lot of mini DV tapes are really deteriorating quick.
Yeah, well, the problem is, now my brother had the what is it, not Super 8, but the 8 millimeter, and I had the mini DV, and I have a whole bunch of them here, of my old VHS stuff. So I guess I'm going to have to start doing that. But the problem with the mini 8, or whatever it is, little cassettes, that the player for that format, like the rollers disintegrate, then it eats the tape.
Yeah, so at work, we bought them from a guy who refurbishes Sony players. So I have 2 Hi8, I think it's Hi8. I always get these confused. I have 2 refurbished Hi8 decks, and because I had a lot of 1993 to 97 tapes that I had to convert for work. So they're out there. There's guys that are refurbishing them. But yeah, the mini DVs are really deteriorating.
Man, I got like 35, 40 tapes, of it, and like everything I did with the kids, So I guess I'll have to do that.
Yeah, get on that sooner than later. Yeah, right now in the last couple years, I think I'm up to probably cresting 300 to 400 tapes that I've converted.
Well, what happens if I just bring it back into the computer and make DVDs out of all of it? I don't know if I want to make that out of it either.
Well, especially a certain batch of Sony DVDs from the early 2000s, they're all delaminating. The glue that they use to hold them together is failing, so a lot of DVDs are starting to go bad. The problem is you need a player to actually bring it in. What I've been doing is I bring them in I import them digitally, and then I just back them up on 2 hard drives. So I have just a raw named MPEG, or not MPEG, MP4 or a .move.
Yeah, I have like freaking 4. I think I have like 4 huge, like 8 or 18 and 11 terabyte drives here, because I was doing the old not Bitcoin, but another type. And then I cashed in. Now I'm left with these drives, so I'm just going to convert them, like you say. I'm going to put them on a drive, but then the drive is going to go.
Well, just like flash drives, which everybody's back stuff up on, little flash drives, they got to be energized every so many years or they start going bad. Really what you do, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, is you back them up on 2 different hard drives. Sometimes leave one hard drive at somebody else's house or a family member. And then every so many years, just update it.
DVDs and CDs were supposed to last like 25 years, I believe. But when you're saying about the USB drives, those are supposed to last like 125 years before they're no good.
Yeah, my uncle was telling me about that. Apparently, maybe some of them are, and some of them aren't, but they have to have juice to them every so often to keep going.
Yeah, makes sense. But eventually, that plastic that's in there is gonna, or silicone, that's gonna fall apart, or there's metal pieces in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a conscious thing. People with a lot of media, and, most people nowadays have, excess amounts of media. How many pictures do you have on your phone? I think I have 21,000 pictures on my phone. It's just a maintenance thing at this point. If you want to keep them around, you got to keep them going. And then you hear people argue, like, you have paper photos from, back when we used to get paper printed photos, which are great, but if they're stored wrong, then they stick together and then they're unusable.
Or they start to fade.
Well, I scanned in all my photo albums. I had like 7 photo albums. I scanned them all in. Now they're all digital format, but now I got to worry about that going away.
Yeah, like I said, the best thing to do is, I'll say, sitting in front of me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I probably have about 25 terabytes worth of hard drives up in this room. And it's just redundancy backups. And sometimes I buy different brands just in case there was a bad batch of hard drives. So I have different, they're not all matching, just in case one fails before the other one.
I know they make these DVDs that they were made out of non-natural components. There was no natural ingredients in the making of that DVD, so it lasted way longer than the other brands,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a batch of Sony out there from probably around 2000-ish that are just, they're splitting apart. Because what a lot of people don't realize, the difference between a burnt CD and a commercially made CD is, on a commercially made CD, they're layers, and a burnt CD is an actual, image, ones and zeros burned to a disc.
Yeah, I've got a couple CDs that I burned 20 years ago that are starting to have errors.
Do any of them have like little white edges or anything on them?
I didn't look, but I know that they had problems with them delaminating or corroding or whatever. They did some kind of process flaw.
Yeah, delaminating is the perfect word for that.
Yeah, they split. Don't ever let them in sunlight on your dashboard.
I would never do that, but no, they sit in the 5-disc changer in my truck, and I get down to like the last couple tracks, and all of a sudden they start to stutter, and then it finally gives up, and it goes to the next song.
Well, the problem with the players is, you know, that little lens, it's supposed to float magnetically in there, but, you know, there's a little bit of breeze going on when that thing is spinning, and it's not perfect. So it does make little scrapes, and so eventually it's going to scrape it that it can't read it.
Yeah, I just hope they fixed the problem. I don't know if they ever did, because I might want to burn some more. I don't know. But same with DVDs, because I have VHS tapes, and I have high 8 tapes. I have my daughter's birth on one of my high 8 tapes, and I transferred that to a DVD, and hopefully that doesn't go bad.
The best thing is, like I said, take anything that's got a physical media, you know, high 8, Super 8, DV, VHS, VHS-C, you know, put that to digital and back up, and hopefully, you know, hopefully it lasts.
Yeah, I could get a better program. I got Studio, something I got years ago, and it worked pretty well, but it takes a long time to render.
Well, that's I'm more of an audio guy, but when I get into the video world, everything takes, you know, rendering video takes a while, and especially when you're pulling from tape, you got to do real time. You know, there's no, you know, 2-speed, 4-speed, 8-speed.
Yeah, I mean, you can burn a disc at faster speed, but you can't hit the render. The render goes at one time.
And video takes up a lot more space. One mini DV takes up 14.83 or 85 gigabytes, or gigabytes.
That's not too bad.
No, but like I said, at work, I'm over, maybe let's just say conservatively 300 tapes. So, you know, 300 tapes times 14 gigs.
It takes a while.
Yeah, I have all my videos are backed up on I have two hard drives, and I mirror them, and I unpower the one so it's not on all the time. But I've got 2 1-terabyte drives. All my pictures and my videos on. And if one dies, then I've got a backup of the backup.
Yeah, it's funny anymore when I buy hard drives. You know, I got to start looking at like 6 terabyte on up.
I know. It seemed like, you know, a terabyte seemed like, oh my God, that's like, you would never fill that. But now it's like, yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, even one of my audio projects that I record, you know, at the sample and bit rate with the amount of tracks and all the editing, you know, one song can take 23 gigs.
Well, that's if you have it in uncompressed format, yeah.
Yeah, especially at work, we record everything at 88, 32 floating bit, and, you know, by the time you get done editing everything, you know, the amount of tracks that are in there, you know, a 3-minute song, it really adds up quick.
Oh, yeah, the higher the sample rate, it's just going to make it a bigger and fatter file until you convert it over to like an MP3 or something that's a heck of a lot less room, but of course, you know, the trade-off is quality.
a 23 gigabyte audio session down to a 36 kilobyte MP3.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was telling you about that Internet Archive. Some of the stuff that people put up there, they have converted it so low that when you listen to the file, it sounds like it's underwater. It's awful.
You get like the wind chimey effect.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I only convert anything to MP3s when I have to quick do a send to anybody just for a reference to listen to. But yeah, I try not to ever go anywhere below 4416 on any audio file.
I have one of those. It's a record player. It's a cassette, and then you can burn a DVD right from the record. And it has some software with it, like you could take the pops and the hisses and out of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, those all-in-one burning and duplicating devices are pretty cool. Yeah, my next adventure of video is I have probably 30, 40, 50, I don't even know, the Super 8 reel tapes. I'm looking to do a converter for that right now to convert all my childhood and my, even before I was born, tape into digital.
Well, you can buy these little boxes that you just put your camera on the other end of it and project it into it, and you could save it to tape, well, a DV or whatever, and convert it that way.
Yeah, the problem is I don't have any cameras that work to play them. I was looking at one. Kodak makes one. There's quite a few companies that make them. You put it in, and it looks like a movie projector, and it pulls it in, and I think it does like 4 frames at a time. So it'll pull it in, scan it, then move 4 frames, scan it, move 4 frames, and then it's really making hundreds of JPEGs, and then it just sews them together as a video. There's no audio, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, the cheapest one I've seen is like $300, $400, something like that, and it's that sort of that type.
Yeah, that's why I don't have one yet. I'm like, I should get these films converted, because, like I was saying earlier, nothing's getting any nicer sitting in a box.
Yeah, I have some of my grandparents' stuff, and it's already like moldy. It's like the actual film is like black, dark, and there's like mold on it, starting to eat it away.
Yeah, that guy I was working with at that studio over the summer, one of his things is he has 2-inch reel devices or machines. So he was taking old he works he would go up to Abbey Road and Abbey Road, everybody knows Abbey Road, and he was one of their tape guys. So in his studio he would get audio masters from pretty big bands, and he would do the conversion to make them digital. And he got an original Led Zeppelin studio master that they wanted him to convert. He said it was so filthy and so bad that it was starting to stain his machine. He's like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, they just start breaking down.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know where they stored that master, but it was a master session. And he's like, I'm not even working with it. He's like, you got to take it back. Find somebody else to do it.
Yeah, that's big business, though.
You find a guy with the good equipment and a functional, reliable 2-inch reel. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, that's the thing with any business. You know, you're supposed to update your technology like every 3 years or something like that to be competitive. Well, just to survive. But I know places, you know, they've been holding on to their old crap for 10 years, you know.
If you want to see a pretty good documentary that kind of touches on that subject, look up Sound City. It's about a studio in Burbank, California, where like Fleetwood Mac recorded, and it was a very famous studio. And they go through that where the whole digital world with digital recorders started, you know, squeezing out the old analog tape recording studios. It's a pretty good documentary. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters did it.
So what's the title again? I'm going to write this down.
Sound, you know, Sound City.
Yeah, I'll check that out. And yeah, it did take me that long to write it down.
No worries. I'd tell somebody to repeat it so I could remember it, and then I would still forget it.
Old age.
That's right.
That's right.
Old age is right.
Well, hopefully you guys will be in here for a few more minutes. I'll be right back.
That's a yo.
He comes and he goes. So I wonder what's up with the PD tonight.
Well, it could be a multitude of things. Could be something to do with the wife. Could be worked overtime. There's a number of things it could be.
Yeah, I figure he would text somebody, but I guess not. So I thought you two had a good link going on there. I thought you two kept pretty good contact.
Well, not always. I talk to him during the day sometimes, but I haven't been around during the day much because I've been busy. So I talked to him the other day, and he did say something about him and the wife were going to Shady Maple for dinner or lunch or something. But that was the other day, so I don't know if that would have any relation to today, unless maybe you went to dinner tonight or something. Who knows?
Steve and I was talking to him. Tonight is what? Tonight's Wednesday? Yeah, I don't know. He did say it was his birthday. He's, and about the Shady Maple thing there, but I think that was Monday, so it was probably Tuesday. So I think he did that on Tuesday. So I don't know. Well, I hope he didn't get food poisoning.
Might have been another appointment. Taking his wife for, probably won't happen right away though, so, we can sit here and speculate all night and then, we'll just wait for him to tell us.
Well, yeah, that is true. By all means, that is true. What about you? I know you went in for some doctor in there. How are you making out?
Yeah, I had the upper GI and the colonoscopy, and that came back all good. So I'm happy about that. I was at the ear, nose, and throat specialist today to start figuring out how I keep getting these bouts of vertigo. That's the process. My stress test got moved back. It was supposed to be Friday, but now it's going to be like the second week of March.
do you wear, I'm just going to ask, do you wear bifocals?
No, they're not bifocals, they're progressives.
Oh, okay. You had them forever? You used them before?
Oh, not forever, since I've become presbyopic. You know, probably for about the last 10 years, maybe.
Oh, okay. So you're used to them. All right. The reason I asked, my mother-in-law, she had bifocals, the one with the lines in them. And if her glasses would get, like, crooked, they were out of, how would you say, the frames were bent out of shape or whatever, it would cause her that problem with vertigo. So I just wanted to throw that at you, but I don't think that's the case with progressive.
No, because I get vertigo if I lay on my left side when I'm sleeping, and I go to turn over real quick. It'll bring it on, and then it'll bother me for a couple of days. And I'm not wearing glasses when I'm sleeping.
Oh, wow. Well, now I know why they're doing the ear and nose and throat then. Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck. I wish you the best. I don't wish anybody. That's a very uncomfortable thing. Especially if you really get it nasty like, you know. Yeah, I never had it, but I've seen people go through it. Yeah. Yeesh.
Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been sensitive to motion, you know. It's my whole entire life. I get car sick very easily and motion sick, and those weird virtual rides where you stand in a room and like you pretend you're on a roller coaster and all. I can't do that. Oh my God, it just throws me completely off. But you know, as I'm getting older, it just seems like I get these vertigo spells a lot more frequently, and just crawling under the car to unscrew an oil filter or do an oil change. You know, if I'm laying on usually got to lay on my left side because where the engine stuff is mounted, and I feel it. I get dizzy just doing that.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be eardrum problems, yeah, or something like that, inner ear. I don't know. I'm no doctor. I just remember bits and pieces, but it's a possibility. I hope they find out what's ailing you. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned about your motion sickness and all. I know you got a boat. Have you recently got it when you're on the boat?
It's weird. As long as I'm driving, there's not a problem. It's when I am not driving. My eyes have to be watching what's going on. It's like I can't, you know, if I'm in a car, if I'm a passenger in a car, I can't look down at my phone and read something. That will make me nauseous as hell in a matter of seconds. But as long as my eyes are syncing with the movements of the vehicle, then I'm okay. But as soon as they get out of sync, then I'm in trouble.
Oh, wow. So how long, you know, has you, how can I put this? How long have you been looking to resolve this issue?
Well, just started resolving it because I now have the kind of medical coverage that'll pay for it.
So did you go to,
God, can't believe coverage is so bad these days. You know, I wouldn't think that to even be an issue for anybody.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the charges coming from all the other tests I've gotten. They're in the thousands. Thankfully, it gets paid for.
did you go to any,
I guess most of the time now it's like you pay the first, well, it used to be $2,500 and then everything after that was paid for. Now I'm sure it's up to $5,000 or something like that now. But yeah, good. Well, I wish you the best on that because that's annoying. You know, there's nothing like trying to accomplish something and, you know, dealing with that in the midst of it. You know, it ruins the whole day. That's the bottom line. It ruins everything you're trying to accomplish. And then it hangs on. It lingers.
Yeah, I mean, when it flares up pretty bad. It's like the room spins, and I just can't escape from it. And I get nauseous after a while, and it's bad. And there are these exercises you're supposed to be able to do, because they say the biggest cause of that is these crystals in your ear that get out of whack or something. And if you do these little exercises where you move your head a certain way, and it puts them back in alignment. But I try to do that, it just makes it worse. So I don't know. We'll find out what's going on. Hopefully, I got to go down to Phoenixville and do some tests. They're going to do something they call balance testing, and I guess it tests your equilibrium or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's one good way to get a baseline here. So we'll just keep going with it.
I've been dealing with bouts of that for the last 3 years, I think it is now. And Bite Poster was asking, did you go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor?
Yeah, that's where I was today.
Did they give you any drops?
Did he say?
Did they give you any drops?
No. No, they did test my hearing, and they said my hearing's really good, especially for my age. So that's one nice thing. But no, they didn't give me any medication because they don't know what's wrong with me yet. I gotta do a blood work to rule out Lyme disease and a few other things, and I gotta do this balance test. And once that's done, I guess the next step would be an MRI of my head or something. We'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, the first time I had a really bad bout of that, I drove myself to the doctor, and then the doctor was like, "I hope you're not driving." I was like, "Ugh," but yeah, they called in a second nurse or doctor, I don't know what it was, to look at my eardrums. He's like, "I've never seen eardrums this full and not exploded yet."
Yeah, see, they checked my ears and they said they're all clear. There's no sign of infections or clogs or fluid buildups or anything like that, because that would be an obvious thing.
Yeah, but what about sinuses?
I don't know what sinuses have to do. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I would think if it mattered, the doctor would check it.
Channel 13, Red Baron over in Downey County. Finally got my noise level under control. I was wondering if anybody's still in the classic radio roundup. We're standing by for contact.
Good evening there, Red Baron.
Say what?
Red Baron just chimed back in. I guess his noise level went down. And I guess he's not hearing me.
I'm not hearing him because the beam is pointed up northeast.
Red Baron.
Yeah, there's somebody coming back there. Red Baron, Downtown. Yeah, I was having a heck of a time with the noise level over here. We have a train nearby. They stepped the station, and it causes quite the racket. I'm just replying to you, Red Baron, waving a hand.
10-4, yeah, we hear you, Red Baron. Yeah, everybody's on, Wednesday night get together there, and I don't know if Bagger hears you or not.
Yeah, 10-4. Now, I can't hear him, but I thank you very much for the reply. Noise level dropped off, and SWR standing vibration is clean, and I was on about half an hour ago. I just wanted to pop that, right back in there and tip my hat to you gentlemen.
Okay, Red Baron, hello there, and we'll talk to you later. Check. Baker. Hey guys, this is Bulletin back on. Without doing newspaper deliveries, I had to take my 5-foot antenna off the roof and put the 2-foot antenna on the roof. Just wondering how I sound. I'm actually coming up towards Joker's house.
I was going to say, You sound real loud in my house.
Yep, I'm just getting to the end of PV Road, and I'm going to make a right. Oh, what's the right? Is this Kutztown Road up here? Yes, it is. Yep.
Well, long time no hear. Nice to hear you again. I don't know if you other guys can hear Bulletin.
He's writing my noise level too.
You got a copy on him?
I can hear him scratching over here around Fleetwood.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm just up behind Joker's house, coming down Kutztown Road.
Well, if you go on YouTube and look up Joker427 and come to about the end of the video, you'll be able to hear what you sounded like in my room. You sound good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I will listen to myself later. Kutztown, that intersects with 100, doesn't it? It does, in the village of Clayton. I know where that is. Yep, so I'm coming up the back right now. Once I get to it, I'm going to make a left on, I think it's County Line Road. It's also like a kind of a hilly area. It is. I was just down in a dip. Now I'm back up at a medium height, but I've got a mountain in between myself and Fleetwood. Okay, I'm on County Line Road and a little bit of a dip. What kind of radio are you running? President McKinley. It's just the AM version. I know that they have an AM/FM version now, but I wanted something that had single sideband to be able to play around with that on occasion. There you go. You could join us on Sunday evening, Sunday soiree. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I need to get a radio permanently mounted in my house. For me, it's just mobile in my car, which is a Chevrolet HHR. Yeah, Sunday nights, sideband on this frequency. Oh, cool. What time? Probably around the same time, 8 o'clock at night, till whenever. All right, and who's this that I'm speaking with? You're speaking with Pipebuster again. Oh, okay, Pipebuster. Yeah, you're coming in much clearer now than before. Well, it all depends where you are. You know, I'm on the other side of the mountain. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, earlier when I was talking to you, I was a good 4 or 5 miles south of here. Well, you sound a lot better. Yeah, nice and clear. And Joker's super clear. It doesn't get clearer than that. Okay, I'm coming up to Gaiman Road. Joker, you're on Gaiman Road, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am.
You want me to pop in really quick?
If it was earlier, I would say yes, but the wife's getting ready to go to sleep and everything. Next time, if you're around here earlier, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, making a right on the Gaiman, and I'll come into the back of the alley then.
Anyway, I was saying good night. It's about time to go to bed, so everybody take it easy, and this abbreviated, or not really abbreviated, but late session of Classic Radio Roundup, and we'll do it again next time.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Hey, yeah, we'll catch back up with what I was talking to you about earlier today.
All right, we'll catch you later. Hey, I think it's about time for me too. So, yep, we'll catch you all later.
Catch you, man. You have a good one.
Great talking with all you guys.
Yeah, it's nice hearing you again. Yeah, come out on Sunday nights. Like you were saying, sideband, Channel 13, usually start around 8 o'clock and usually go, like this is about the time where people start clocking out.
Okay, understandably. Yeah, I'd have to be in my car, so that's the rule.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I was going to say, depends on what road you came down. If I was looking at my one window, I probably could have seen you come.
Yeah, I'm backing into the Huber's driveway right now on Gaiman Road.
The whose driveway?
Huber's. It used to be Fraunheiser.
Okay, I was going to say, honestly, my wife would probably know that. I've been living on this road now for, I'll say 17 years. And when people say about, oh, that used to be the so-and-so's place, sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, understandably. They bought it within the past about a year or so. So, well, anyway, I must drop stuff off here, so I'll still be on the radio a little while, but I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay, I was going to say I might not catch you when you come back on, but keep in touch, man.
Sounds good, Joker. You too.
Yeah, and if you're in the area next time a little earlier, definitely swing in by.
Will do. Okay, I'm about to kill power as soon as I open the car door. Good talking with you guys.
Catch you later. Yeah, I think I want to call it a night. Try to get this video uploaded quick so it's up tomorrow. So, JR, if you're still out there, Wayne, if you're still out there, Rooster, if you're still out there, I will talk to you later. And I apologize if I'm missing anybody.